I know for a fact that a lot of people who chooses a child-free lifestyle get a lot of negative feedback and comments about it. So maybe this can actually help you keep your head up high. Let's talk about famous people who have chosen to have a child-free lifestyle. And first up is no other than Oprah Winfrey. She has stated that having a child has never felt right to her. She has also stated, quote unquote, "If I had kids, my kids would hate me. They would have ended up on the equivalent of the Oprah show talking about me, because something in my life would have had to suffer, and it would probably have been them." The next one in line is Miley Cyrus, who have been quite vocal with statements like this. "We're getting handed a piece of planet, and I refuse to hand that down to my child. Until I feel like my kid could live on an earth with fish in the water, I'm not bringing in another person to deal with that." And I mean, yes, we have issues with the environment, that's for sure, and no one is arguing about it. And also along with the criminal development that we have seen so far, I mean, that's one of the reasons why I don't have kids as well, because I don't feel like we have a good environment or a safe environment to live in. Whether it's climate change or criminal records or whatever, I don't care. It just don't feel safe to bring a child into this and put them through this. So I think that's quite a valid reasoning. The third famous celebrity is Alison Brie, and she has come with statements like this. "I don't really want to have kids. It's great because I don't worry about when I should get pregnant between seasons while we are shooting the show Glow. I don't have to think about it every day." And also, she follows up with another statement that follows. "It would be nice, but I think of all the things that would be so stressful. I think about how much we are involved in our cats' lives. And oh my god, if it was a child." And I mean, yes to that statement as well, because I mean, I have a dog and I love my dog, and I worry to the death when he's sick or ill or he has hurt himself or something other. And I mean, if I had a child, I would worry constantly about everything, and I'm just not up for it, so I totally understand her. Then we have Renee Zellweger, yes, another actress, who has stated, "I have never really thought like that about anything in my life really, when asked if she craved children." And I mean, that tells a lot about it, I would say. Next in line is Ashley Judd, who I can relate to so much. She have put out statements like, "I do not need to go making my own babies when there are so many orphaned or abandoned children who need love, attention, time and care." She have also stated, "I have felt this way since I was at least 18 years of age, and I had an argument about it with a childhood friend." And lastly, she had also said, "I figured it was selfish for us to pour our resources into making our own babies when those very resources and energy could not only help children already here, but through advocacy and service transform the world into a place where no child ever needs to be born into poverty and abuse again. My belief has not changed. It's a big part of who I am." And these comments are certainly things that have been on my mind as well. So I kudos to her to actually put it out like that in those specific words, because I think it's very brave and very kind-hearted and very genuine to tell someone, a reporter in this case, those exact words, because those words actually points out to the difficulties that we have today and the problems that are being neglected. And then we have the wonderful Jennifer Aniston. I look up to her, I think she's awesome, and she has been plagued by journalists for an eternity when it comes to kids. And finally, she has come out with some statements that follows like this. "We are complete with or without a mate, with or without a child." She has also mentioned things like this. "We get to decide for ourselves what is beautiful when it comes to our bodies. That decision is ours and ours alone. Let's make that decision for ourselves and for the young women in this world who look to us as examples." She has also stated, "Let's make that decision consciously, outside of the tabloid noise. We don't need to be married or mothers to be complete. We get to determine our own happily ever after for ourselves." And lastly, "I don't like the pressure that people put on me, on women, that you have failed yourself as a female because you haven't procreated. I don't think it's fair. You may not have a child come out of your vagina, but that doesn't mean that you aren't mothering. For example, dogs, friends, children, and this continually said about me, that I was so career-driven and focused on myself that I don't want to be a mother, and how selfish that is. I mean, yes, word! She just nailed it. Everything in those statements, she nailed it. Exactly the way I feel as well. And then we have John Cena. Yes, a man. Men can also choose a child-free lifestyle. That's totally fine. But generally they don't get criticized for it, as women do. And he has stated the following statements when confronted by a journalist that he would be such a great dad. He said like this: "It's hard work. It's hard work to balance the time I need to run myself correctly. It's hard work to be the best partner and husband I can be to my loving wife. It's hard to keep connections with those in my life that I love, and it's also hard to put in honest days' works." This is just my perspective. I think just because you might be good at something, for me, is not a strong enough reason to do that. You have to have a passion for it. You have to have fuel for it. It's like saying to somebody, "Man, you know, you're pretty good with your hands. You'd be a great carpenter." That basically says it all as well. And then we have another man, Seth Rogen, who have said like this: "A lot of people have kids before they even think about it, from what I've seen, honestly. You're just told. You go through life, you get married, you have kids. It's what happens. Me and my wife, neither of us were like that. Honestly, the older we get, the more happy and reaffirmed we are in our choices to not have kids. It was something we kind of talked about more, and we were like, have we made the right choice? Are we sure? And now, more than anything, the conversation is like, honestly, thank God we don't have children. We get to do whatever we want." And I totally agree with him. I also believe that a lot of people just get kids just because. It's not a conscious choice. It's not a well-thought choice. And for me, it's like, I don't care whether or not you have kids or not. That's not something that I will put any reasoning behind, but I do wish that people actually made a well-thought-out decision instead of just go with the flow and let's see what happens, or, you know, anything like that. Because having a child is a lifelong commitment. So make a conscious choice in having a kid in that case, because otherwise we will have all these kids that are in poverty or don't have any parents or, well, whatever. And that's just simply not fair to the child. If you want to have a child, make sure that you are committed to make that child and help and guide that child to become a great citizen. Then, last but not least, Leonardo DiCaprio. Even though he has not stated a clear no having a child, he have given statements like this when he has been asked about it. "Do I want to bring children into a world like this?" That just says it all, to me, at least. Because, I mean, he's very passionate about the environment and environmental work. And he's also very active within that field. So I totally understand him. And there you have it, folks. I hope this empowers you in your choice and that you feel proud over your choice, because you're not alone. Even celebrities have chosen this lifestyle, so it's totally fine. So either way, be proud of your choice, no matter what society tries to enforce upon you, or peers or friends or family. Stay strong.